Have you ever talked to an AI like ChatGPT and just wondered, how does it actually get what I'm saying? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the one secret ingredient that completely changed the game for artificial intelligence.
All right, let's start with a little puzzle. Look at this sentence. For you and me, it's obvious, right? It is the animal, because, streets don't get tired. But for a computer, this is a huge, huge problem. How in the world does it figure that out? This one simple question stumped AI researchers for years.
And by the end of this explainer, you're not just going to know the fancy name for the solution. Nope. You're going to have a really powerful mental model for how these incredible AIs actually think.
So to really appreciate just how big of a deal this is, we've got to look at the before and after. Let's compare the old way AI used to read with the new way.
Okay, so picture the old AI models, these things called RNNs. They read a sentence kind of like we do, but very slowly. One word at a time. This made it super hard for them to remember what was said at the beginning of a long sentence. But the new AI, built on something called a transformer, it's a whole different ballgame. It looks at the entire sentence all at once, in a flash, and instantly sees how every single word relates to every other word. And that magical ability, the tech that lets the AI see the whole picture at once, is called self-attention. Now, I know it sounds super technical, but I promise you, the idea behind it is something you already do every single day.
So, let's dive in and demystify the secret sauce of the transformer. We're going to break down exactly how self-attention works, step by step. And to do that, forget about code, forget about complex math, forget all of it. Instead, I just want you to imagine you've walked into a really busy party. There are conversations happening all around you.
This simple story, what we'll call the party analogy, is all you're going to need to understand this incredibly powerful concept. Let's go.
So here's how it works. First, think of every single person at this party as a word in a sentence. Now, you show up with an interest, right? Something you want to know about. That's your query. You start listening to all the different conversations, trying to pick up on relevant topics. Those topics, those are the keys. And when you hear a key that matches your query, what do? You naturally lean in. You focus on that conversation. Finally, you take the most interesting bits of info, the values, from those stories and combine them to form your own new understanding.
And believe it or not, that's it. That's the whole magic trick. That very human, very intuitive process of figuring out who to listen to in a crowded room is the exact same thing self-attention does inside a massive AI. It's just scoring, focusing, and combining information.
All right, you've got the party down. Now let's connect our little story back to the actual technology. We're going to translate those simple party ideas into the real AI terms. This is where it all clicks. So each person at the party, that's just a word in the sentence. Your interest, that's the query, or Q. The relevance of someone else's story, that's their key, or K. And the actual information, the story itself, that's the value, or V. The AI combines all this to create its final summary, a new, context-rich meaning for that word.
So let's just hammer this home. For every single word it looks at, the AI creates these three things. A query that's basically asking questions, a key that's signaling its own relevance, and a value that holds the juicy information. Q, K, and V. That is the heart of self-attention.
And boom! This is exactly how we solve our original puzzle. The word it sends out its query asking, hey, who am I talking about here? It then compares that query to the keys of all the other words. The key for animal lights up and signals a super high relevance score. The key for street, almost 0. So the AI focuses on the value of animal, and just like that, it gets the sentence. Problem solved.
Now, this isn't just some clever little programming trick. This one idea is literally the engine behind the entire AI revolution we're seeing today. Let's talk about the real-world impact.
I mean, this single mechanism powers the tools you're probably using every day, like ChatGPT and BERT. It's the reason AI can now understand really complex and subtle language better than ever before. It can chew through massive documents, not just short little sentences, and because it does it all at once, it makes training these gigantic AI models way, way faster.
So why does this matter to you? Well, whether it's an AI helping you draft an email, translate a website on the fly, or even write computer code from scratch, self-attention is the fundamental piece that lets it understand what you want and give you back something that actually makes sense.
All right, so let's boil it all down. If you remember just 3 things from this, make it these. 1. Modern AI sees the big picture, the whole sentence at once. 2.
Self-attention is how each word figures out how important every other word is. And 3, the party analogy, with query, key, and value, is your new easy way to remember how it all works.
So now that you're in on the secret, I've got a question for you. What's the next huge problem you think we can solve now that AI can really truly understand context? Think about things like scientific research, medicine, or even personalized education. The possibilities are just incredible.
You came here today with a question, and now you have a clear, powerful way to think about how modern AI actually works. This isn't just a fun fact, it's a tool. Use this knowledge to cut through all the media hype, to ask smarter questions, and to stay ahead in your career and in your learning journey.
If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to enhance smart skills for more videos like this.